Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my witches, warlocks, writers, and wanderers. I am KibbyRose. I am author, tubes, lesbian, psychic stoner. I am here to hopefully distract you from a very crazy day. Thank the new moon for shifting us into a whole new polarity of new energies. And I'm going to read off the headlines that we're going to cover in current discussions today. But on that note, let me run the opener, and we can get on with our writing sprints because I've got some rants and we've got some work to do. All right, today is Wednesday, June 5th or June 25th of 2025. I have had one of those days where I literally woke up and I called, one of my besties and just literally said, hey, just reading the headlines and knowing what I felt this morning waking up, it is going to be a day. So evidently she called me 10 minutes before my live stream and confirmed to me that it was a good thing that I warned her about today because it has been a day. So I do have some good news to go over, but first I'm going to cover the topics that we're going to cover during our rants for these writing sprints. Whatever you're working for, everybody, let me go over the YouTube things, huh? For anybody who's new here, hi, welcome. For any of you that are doing work and would like to get cheered on with your progress or whatever else, go ahead and put it in the chat as we work along. That's what we're here for. Second of all, if you have anything that you need to check in on regarding your book or any ideas or anything else that you want me to expand on, put it in the comments. That's what I do here. Third of all, if there's any current events that you want me to make predictions on, I have a few already that we're going to do, but go ahead, put them in the comments and I will take care of that. For those on TikTok, I won't see your comments, but you can put them in there because during the writing sprints, when I'm actually doing writing sprints on YouTube, I will come into TikTok and answer the questions. So I don't forget you guys that you're here. It's just, this is a YouTube live. So anyway, on that note, this morning's headlines, as I was going through my YouTube to set up my playlist this morning, was Wisconsin couple arrested for planning poisoning at local farmer's market. Group of fifth graders arrested for planned 145 people jabbed with a needle at a concert in France. Mr. Beast sells creator tool that steals content. California to eliminate grading in schools. The View ladies actually get a babysitter now. Like I didn't predict that one 1,000 times on my YouTube channel, along with everybody else. YouTube doesn't want small creators anymore. Did you know they're going to be pushing a lot of these mainstream media networks that were failing on mainstream media? They're going to bite themselves in the butt. Anyway, Eugene Cooney, her mom's under investigation. We got Haley and Justin Bieber headed for divorce. We've got Baldoni pulling his lawsuit from Blake Lively. We've got the Karen Reach attorneys going at it in the media files. And guys, we've got proof that Meghan Markle, like I said, is using a drop shipment and that she actually did sell everything in small quantities in order to show a massive sale on things. Just a couple of the rants that we're going to be covering today, but the biggest news, I have been covering the dance moms, like you guys know, like no other. I love the dance moms. I love Kelly Highland especially. And over the weekend, not actually over the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I have had a prayer ritual going because of the fact that she actually went into surgery. She had to get heart surgery. And I made a prediction that it would be a success with no complications, and it would be exactly as she wanted it to do, where it was robotic. And an hour before my live stream, Brooke Highland announced on her TikTok that Kelly is good. The surgery was successful. They were able to do it with the way they wanted to. So I'm super happy that I just wanted to announce that because I had a lot of energy, just like I had a lot of energy going towards her cancer treatment to make sure she was going to get through that. I had a lot of energy going through this. And to hear that it was all successful and everything else, I'm super happy. Sometimes God will kind of attack person in a friend group to bring the friend group closer, especially if there's trying times. And there's a lot of stuff that the dance moms have been through, and Kelly going through this has pulled everybody closer, including the fandom, the moms, the daughter, everybody. So I think it's pretty awesome. Cora's coming in here. Hello, Cora. Hey, of course, you'll be in and out because of dinner and bedtime, but you will be working on your book. Nice. 62,644 words, and still need to do about 2 more chapters depending on where the story goes. And this is the third book, the third book in your series, if I remember correctly, 3rd or 4th. And for anybody who's interested, on my YouTube channel and past videos, we actually reviewed her other books when they launched a couple, because I've been riding along with Cora on this journey for a while. And hey, diddle diddle, jury will start deliberating. I've already made my prediction. We know what my prediction is on that. Guilt, like I'm just elated about that situation, because I've been saying it. I dealt with girls who, I've been saying it for years. I dealt with girls who were unfortunately put through situations similar, if not those exact situations. And I, for a long time knew that inevitably he was, as soon as rumors started happening, I was just like, it's about time. It's about time. You guys can go back on previous videos. I've been saying it for years. There's a lot of energy that's been going towards that too. It's the 5th in your series. That's right. She's got 5 books in the series. So that is awesome. Well, on that note, I am actually currently working on a couple of things. I finished editing all of the solo reacts for me. Did I make the mistake, the ADHD mistake of being tired and deciding to save and export and then go into a folder and delete without double checking, and ended up deleting a video that now I have to recreate from scratch, including re-recording the original video I reacted to? Yes. Did Kibby take a break yesterday after she did that and go play her games on her phone? Yes. Is Kibby still having a hard time with that? Yes. I am really mad at myself for that. It was one of those mistakes where I was like, I know better. I know better than to do that. And I did it. And it's probably about 4 days of work that I just kind of deleted on myself. So, I have switched gears since I have finished all of the solo react editing, and we haven't had time to record new ones. I've switched back to the Dance Moms project that I was working on. So today I'm going to be either A, answering questions on TikTok, or B, doing the voiceovers for season 1, episode 3 picture video, or I will be doing picture grabs for season 2, episode 5, and naming those, because I've kind of been bouncing between the two, honestly. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. Do I need to go down to the Apple Store so that I can get my MS Word subscription conflicts fixed with my computer and finally start working on my book again? Yes. Has Kibby done that? No. If you all know, I've been fighting. This is like the first day that I think I've only had to take like 1 Tylenol to not be in pain with my back. So has it been 2 weeks of pain because of fibromyalgia, Crohn's, and a back spasm? Absolutely. So I'm frustrated with it, but inevitably I would like to get back to working on my book again. So on that note, though, we are going to jump into a 20-minute sprint because we are here for 20 minutes. And when we get back, I'm going to, what did you do? What did you do, Cora? I gave myself a soft launch date so I'd be motivated to get it done. Nice. Editing by the time another book is released in the series, and I've been reading it. Nice. Well, that's the best way to do it, truthfully. Soft launches are usually the best way to mitigate your timing, because that way you don't put so much pressure on yourself. Let's hope it works out so I can be reading the new book instead of editing. I'm going to need to do a reading for you because I'm hearing that life is going to maybe hand you a little bit of a distraction. it's good to keep the soft launch date because they're referencing again that I always do this to you, and I'm sorry I do this to you, Cora, but your angels are so strong with me sometimes. Basically, they're saying that's great. Her timeline she can try to keep to, but she needs to remember that when things need to get done according to our timeline, that's how it's going to work. So there might be some stuff coming up that might you might have more of your launch at the new year versus when I feel like you're running before the new year, and I'm feeling more after the new year. I think we already know what that is. And let's just say William is coming in and confirming that. And that's all I'm going to say because you like staying private and that gives you enough information. Since I've only been rattling for 11 minutes and it seems a lot longer than 11 minutes that I've been rattling, I do want to cover one of the bigger rants that I've been predicting and talking about because I had two people, I had Trish and I had Abby both come in and ask me about the whole Baldoni case because I guess I didn't know I had people that were studying law that were actually like kind of listening to me on these type of topics as well. So the whole thing with the Justin Baldoni and the Blake Lively case is this. What I see actually happening is I see the lawyers being smart, and here's how. They cannot win on the current filings that they have in place because Blake's team was smart enough. Like there's a big difference between what is legally right and what is morally right. And the legal chess game that you have to play as a lawyer in order to stay within the laws and be able to get the convictions you want are very different. It's a very different chess game than playing the public chess game and keeping your morals up. So what I actually see is I see that they've actually pulled from this case because they're working with somebody, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it was Taylor Swift's attorney. And a guy, again, this is just my own opinion. This is my own site. Like, I don't know anything about this. This is just me making my predictions again. But I see him working with another attorney, and they're going to refile a whole, pretty much the same case, but under different legalities. And that's because what is legally right is not always morally right, and they have to play this the legal way. And because Blake's team was smart enough, because she doesn't want her psych records released, basically she doesn't want to tell everybody that she really didn't have any mental anguish from it, which is why she doesn't want to open records, or it's going to prove that she really is a crazy, and that's another reason. I don't know, it could go either way, but she doesn't want to release her psych information. That shut down half his case. Then they were able to, then Blake pulled one of her filings, which shut down the other half of his case. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have a case. He just doesn't have a case with what was filed. They're pulling back. They're reassessing what they can do. They're looking at what they can file that's already been without prejudice. And they're going to come back at this with a whole new plan of attack. This is not the end of it. Justin is not giving up. He is smart enough to be able to wave the white flag and retreat in order to recoup and reattack with a stronger angle. And that's exactly what I feel like is going on with that situation. So, will we have to watch and see? Yes. Did anybody believe me when I said Taylor Swift better watch herself because she's going to get pulled into this? No, but I was. So we'll have to see what happens with this. Like I said, I'm not always right about everything, but my track record's pretty good. And yeah, and when I'm wrong, I'll admit it. I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong, but I really have this strong feeling that this is not, they've retreated in order to rebuild and then be able to reattack. So I think, so on that note, we're going to jump into a 20-minute sprint. Let us know what you're working on. Let me pull this up. Here we go. We're going to turn this off. All right. So 20 minutes on the clock. Let us know what you're working on in the comments and the sections and everything else. If you want me to check on anything or have any predictions or anything like that, let me know in the comments and I'll get to them. Other than that, I will see you all in 20 minutes and in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget, Hello and welcome back. We are already done with that first 20-minute sprint. I was able to get quite a few voiceovers done. I'm on page 5, actually, of the voiceovers, and at 5 minutes and 28 seconds. So I'm trucking right along with the work in the background. Let me know how you're doing, what you're doing, if you're doing anything. To go into what we were talking about for. Oh, gosh. Like, oh, yeah, I got to find my notes, huh? So get comfortable so I can rant here. I already know that Cora is busy putting a little one away. And for the rest of you, oh no, wait, actually, sure. As soon as I say that, she pops into the comments. Huh. Almost like I sensed her. Go figure. 436 words. Very nice. With toddlers that I know you're trying to put to bed, and one that is deciding to just be a handful today. You've definitely got your stitch on full throttle today. I will say that. However, we are going, so I already ranted about the Baldoni situation. So Amy wanted to know about the Hailey Bieber situation, and then I just wanted to gaggle a little bit about a couple other things. So when it comes to Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber, here's the thing. I have said for a long time that I felt there was a handler situation going on here. If you haven't heard, Hailey Bieber currently sold Rhode actually for like close. Well, she's contracted to make up to $1 billion. However, there's a strong intuition feeling that I had where when I heard this happen, something told me that it was just like, yeah, and Justin's going to try to pay off his debts with the money. However, there's contention going on there, and there's a lot of stuff that's getting revealed behind the scenes. So, Amy, in regards to you asking if they are getting divorced, my prediction is if they don't, I will be surprised. The love is there, but sometimes, sometimes, as many people know, especially with cheating situations, Sorry about that. I'm getting a weird signal from my computer that I've never seen before. That is okay. Anyway, so from what I see, there's something going on there where basically the love is there, but there's a lot of stuff that they can't necessarily agree on. And there might be some more truths that come out in the future. For some reason, I'm having a lot of hesitation in wanting to do a reading on this, and I don't know why. And it seems like there's a lot of contention. I feel like behind the scenes, there's a lot of contention going on in regards to these two splitting. So it might not actually be. Wow. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I would need proof on this, but what my angels are telling me right now is it might not necessarily be their decision whether or not they stay together or not. So that's very interesting, but it kind of goes along with a lot of what I felt about their entire relationship. Like I come from an old generation that grew up in Hollywood where a lot of relationships were contractual agreements. Most of the time, if you saw like in the circle that I ran, if you ever saw a relationship being announced on one of those big magazines, it was like, oh, look who look, they're about to make money on their contracted arrangement. There's too many relationships in the past that were literally put together to make money that nowadays I question a lot of relationships that come out of Hollywood. So that's my 2 cents on that. And then on what was the other thing? Didn't I mention another thing? Because no, Brian, I already did your rant. And I didn't look. Okay. So first of all, Brian, I didn't look into the cannabis situation simply because I didn't look into it. I saw your message, but it blinked on me. So first of all, I'm going to apologize to you because yeah, that was a goof on my part. And I do see that you are asking me about it. And no, I goofed. I messed up. That was my screw up. So I will look into that and make sure that I get back to you on that. Because you do need a prediction on that. So made a note. Sorry. Love you. We'll take care of that. Last but not least, the last rant we're going to go into. I don't know why there seems to be a lot of situations going on where people are just getting vicious nowadays. I honestly, for the most part, in the worldview, I've seen more peace coming in the future than I have seen in a long time. However, I did say it was like everything was going to come to head in June and it was going to get worse before it gets better. But after reading the headlines this morning, it was just one of those things where I was just like, we really just as a society need to take a deep breath, go out, touch some grass, calm down a little bit. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, but we're getting to the point where some of this stuff is just, as a normal human being, this is not the type of society that I want to be living in. I want to be able to go out to a concert, especially in like France, and not have to worry about somebody going through the concert venue with, you know, a pointy object and deciding to do things. I'd be happy that YouTube creators, like long-term YouTube creators like Mr. Beast, could actually be trusted enough that when they come out with a creator tool, that the entire substance of it isn't literally stealing from other creators. I would love to live in a society where I could go back and go live in California again and have it be a, you know, an actual livable environment versus them not only possibly increasing the gas up to $10, allowing the city to be pretty much taken over and overrun by illegal immigrants, to now taking grading out of schools. Why? I have so many complaints when it comes to California and Newsom, and it's getting to the point now where it's almost redundant, because I have been saying this stuff, like literally we moved out of California because of this stuff. My entire family saw this stuff coming, and we got out of there in 2019 before stuff really hit the fan, because a lot of you are now hearing about Newsom and now hearing about the chaos that Newsom is creating. However, the truth is he's been creating this chaos for quite some time now. Newsom was within California politics for so long that I've heard his name my entire life. And let's just say that I didn't have a very big liking for the man when I was 25, and I am now 43, and I have an even more distaste for him. And to hear that he is literally there's not one piece of news that comes out of California these days that makes me proud to say that I used to be a California resident, that I was born and raised in that state. Like, I am actually ashamed to tell people these days that I'm a Cali girl. It's sad, but it's true, because a lot of the stuff that's going on, it's not that I don't disagree. I agree with immigrants. My family are Irish. I come from Irish immigrants. Truthfully, we were in the fields along with the rest of them. So I don't have a problem with immigration. I have a problem with illegal immigration. And from my experience on the street, living on the street for an entire year in California, because I couldn't get a job because of Newsom, I couldn't get a loan for a business. I couldn't, like, a lot of the stuff that's coming out of California about the struggle that regular citizens are facing. I faced it. I lived it. I dealt with it. I had to move states in order to survive it. So it's gotten to the point now where I almost don't want to say anything more about California until it fixes itself, because it's hard enough to understand that the state that I grew up in, that I loved going to the beach, that I enjoyed supporting the military, that Hillcrest was a booming sector. Disneyland, you could go to Disneyland and it was actually busy, and you didn't have to deal with a bunch of people starting, boom, boom things. You could go to Magic Mountain and it wasn't overrun with red and blues. I would love to get back to the California I knew in the 80s growing up. And I know necessarily under the current policies or people, it's not going to be plausible, but I really didn't think it would ever get to the point where the schools actually talked about removing the grading system, where you literally just pass them on pass or fail. And I don't know, my heart's breaking for this whole thing. So on that note, since my little brain is now overwhelmed, Cora's coming in and said that she made it past 6,300 words. So we're going to give her props on that. Because at least it's something happy to look at right now, is giving each other props on each other's work. So, and you're saying you have 2 stitches. Oh, that's right. You do. Well, honey, all I can say is this, is you did choose to be a mom. You had kids, and most days you love them. So, you wouldn't appreciate the days that they were good if you didn't have the days that were bad, right? That's just and I wouldn't mind if any parent wants to like literally smack me upside the head right now, because yeah, I get it. Anyway, so 20 minutes on the clock. I'm not a parent. So anyway, 20 minutes on the clock, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute yourself. right, that's the end of that sprint. Excuse me. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to on that sprint simply because I was messaging back and forth. And I want to apologize for that last little rant. I kind of went off on a tangent, number one. Number two, I got completely distracted. ADHD, neurodivergent, that's what happens when things pop up. My brain goes whoop. And yeah, I've had to learn to monitor my mouth because I used to say some interesting things when that would happen. And I've gotten better at it. But I do want to apologize because, yeah, it was very obvious that my attention got a little distracted. But I do want to talk about something that I had predicted, actually, that was going to happen with Meghan Markle in regards to her entire business or whatever. Okay, so long story short, if you haven't kept up, Meghan has been trying to, basically sell herself on any front. Like, I hate to say it. I hate to say it this way, but she's kind of become a social media. She has decided to try to sell herself on every front possible, from homemade products and jams and everything else to a podcast to, where's my pen? To selling her kids' photos when they demand for privacy, to trying to sue South Park when they make fun of her. It's one of those things where I kept saying, like, she's kind of like Blake Lively in this situation, where the harder she fights, the farther she'll fall. I think this last situation that's about to happen is going to be a gut punch for her, because I don't see her being able to survive what's about to come. Hold on one second. We're going to get into this, because Cora was able to eat most of her sprint and got 171 words done. And if you have kids, you know how hard it is to sometimes even eat, especially when you have 2 stitches running around your house, because that's exactly what Cora is dealing with. So good job on getting at least 171 words done, and even better job on feeding yourself, because yes, we need to do that. So going back, from what I can see, it's a similar situation that's happening with kind of negotiations behind the scenes falling through. She has now tried to tease a clothing line that is going to be connected with her As Ever brand. However, her As Ever brand seems to be falling away faster than she even created it, because Meghan Markle made a very big deal about the fact that she created the jellies for As Ever, that the berries came from her garden, that she manicured all of this herself. Well, the truth is the facts have come out about her website, and they're showing that not only were her jams drop shipped from another company, and here's another thing, when I saw Meghan Markle's jams, they looked familiar to me. Like, I swear there's a place in Southern California that does that exact aesthetic with their jams. And that's like it, but it wasn't a big company, and I didn't have the proof of it. Now to come to find out, it probably was that company, but also that she's drop shipping her teas, and her teas are actually coming from a company over in England. Thank you to Steph the Alter Nerd for exposing this, that you can actually, like, the level of ripoff that Meghan Markle is doing by having these teas drop shipped is just, it's mind blowing. It's literally mind blowing. She is charging more for 12 packets than the company charges for 32. So literally, from what I've always said from day one, and when I've done this kind of reading for Meghan Markle, is there was a promise. I feel like there was a promise made when she married Harry to both a grandmother and a mother, that she would do her best to be a mom, to stay home and be a mom. There's something about this where I feel like that promise was meant to be kept until maybe there's somebody that is a partner that is the male in the relationship that doesn't want to take the let's make money role, that maybe just wants to be a stay-at-home dad. And Meghan didn't realize this until she actually got into the relationship. And now that she's married, and she, the plan is that they were going to be, you know, homebodies, staying private and everything else. Then they found out that they weren't getting as much money in inheritance as they expected to. And I hate to put it this way, but it literally comes down to the fact that they both thought that they wouldn't have to work. And once they figured out their finances, it came to that somebody has to work. And I have a feeling that Harry doesn't want to work. And now Meghan, because she grew up in Hollywood and she's always wanted to be famous, doesn't mind like doing it because they need to make money. However, it's her approach to this stuff. It seems like that Meghan Markle took the same approach to branding herself as Meghan Markle took as Rachel Zegler took to rebranding Snow White. I feel like that if Meghan Markle had slowly brought this on us, had slowly, you know, like maybe if she'd stayed out of the limelight for a little while and then like seeped her way into the American media and the American whatever, that it might have worked out. I feel like the fact that they're trying to shove the stuff down our throats and trying to demand it's almost like she's demanding fame, and that's why it's being resistant of her for so strongly. I see that the kind of like the Kardashians have fallen out this year. Meghan Markle is going to fall out this year. Truthfully, guys, I see a whole new wave coming, and it's not necessarily a good thing when it comes to social medias, because as we bleed into the next thing we wanted to talk about, YouTube is seeming to not like small creators anymore. And I've noticed this, and this was something that was pointed out by Clownfish Media. This was also pointed out by The Quartering. This is also pointed out by Mike Zero. There are more and more failed mainstream media companies coming to YouTube. From MSNBC to Fox to Meghan Trainor. Like, there's so many people that literally got booted from mainstream media that are now coming to YouTube. And the problem with this is there's a couple problems with this, and I'm just going to pop it off. One, nobody wants you here. Everybody that's on YouTube that watches the YouTube channels came here because they didn't like mainstream media. We didn't want to watch mainstream media. We wanted other opinions. We knew that mainstream media was basically getting paid to be told what to say. We figured it out. We came to YouTube. We don't want you here. Second of all, you got booted from mainstream media. This is like somebody who couldn't do the Olympics figuring out a way to become disabled so they can do the Special Olympics. Okay. It's ridiculous. Stay in your own lane. Third of all, YouTube is now pushing smaller creators out of it. It's literally shoving small creators out of the way in order to make room for these bigger creators. I'm finding less and less of these small creators that I'm actually subscribed to coming up on my homepage or even my subscription page. And I'm finding these bigger channels that I'm not even subscribed to constantly being pushed, even to the point where I actually had to go through and dislike, I forget who it was, but it's one creator that I can't stand. It's a female that came over here from MSNBC and I can't stand her. I literally had to go through every single one of her videos and put do not recommend, do not recommend, do not recommend for at least 2 days in order for it to stop recommending her videos to me. And it's like, I even and I tried everything. I tried going in and thumbs downing her videos. I tried finding a way if I could block her from YouTube. Did you know you can't block channels on YouTube? That's something I discovered. I think YouTube is the only platform that you can't block other people from. Like, you can't block them. Like, you can do it in your chats, you can do it in your live streams, but if you are a content creator and you try to go into another page that's harassing you and try to block them, you really can't do it unless you go onto the back end and actually like put in their name. And here's another thing. Even if you put in their name, it doesn't necessarily pull up their actual YouTube channel that you're trying to block. I have learned this the hard way. Anyway, so what my whole suggestion to YouTube is this: buy MSNBC or CNN or whatever that company is that's about to be folded. Okay, buy that company. Take these larger creators like Brett Cooper, Morgan Kelly, all these bigger creators, move them to the mainstream media. Move that, like, actually make a YouTube station, a YouTube channel on mainstream media, on the main Xfinity, whatever else. Move all your bigger creators there. Keep the YouTube for your smaller creators, and you'll have a continuous cycle feed. So when the bigger creators, if they get controversial, or you have to remove them from the mainstream, you can just be like, look, if you don't keep in line, we'll move some of these creators from YouTube onto the mainstream, and we'll let them get the big advertiser pays. And then you would have advertising on dual ends. Like, the amount of money YouTube could make from advertising by doing that would be extra like phenomenal. So this is what I think should happen. I don't know if it will happen. I hope it does, because honestly, it would be great for the big creators. It would be great for the small creators. It would be great for YouTube. It would be great for YouTube investors. Because at that point, a lot of people are already switching to YouTube instead. Why not just get a TV channel where those that were scrolling through the channels and flipping channels can actually come across YouTube? Anyway, it was just a thought I have. But if you are a small creator, it is the time to actually start really pushing that your people double checking that they're watching your videos, that they're still subscribed to your channel. There are people being unsubscribed to the channel. So just be aware that YouTube started it again, where they're mass unsubscribing people again. I swear they do it once a year. I swear, as a live streamer, I see this at least once a year. But if you're a smaller creator, just know it's going to get a lot harder for us to actually get any sort of audience or any sort of attention on our videos, simply because not only do these bigger people that are moving over from these bigger, from the big channels have maybe a little bit more money, but they have the crews. They, like Fox News has an entire crew that can edit YouTube videos and push shorts and do all of it and make thumbnails. And it's not a one-man crew sitting behind the scene to do it. So us small creators are going to inevitably get pushed out, simply because we don't have, again, the money. And I swear, most of us came to YouTube because we were sick of that. We were sick of the money determining what we watched. I almost wish Elon would create like a YouTube version of X where we can live stream and stuff, and it would actually be like not available to any of these big, like you have over 5 million followers. You're not allowed to, go over to YouTube. Anyway, I can't really say that, but that's just my personal opinion. It's getting really frustrating because it's, some of us have really been trying to make it happen, and it's going to get even harder to make it happen unless you have a full-on following that already, supports you with subscriptions and Patreon and everything else. You can, from what I can see coming up with YouTube, you can pretty much kiss any option of that goodbye if you're a small creator now, and it sucks. I hope it changes. I really hope that that the smaller creators on this platform start throwing a bigger fit and start, raising an alarm to YouTube that like, hey, like, you built your platform because of us. I think it's really, really messed up that you're going to just move us on out so that you could bring in the bigger creators that failed, that actually fit. Like, that's another thing. It's almost like proof of failure gets you success these days, and I don't get it. I really don't. Anyway. And if that was the case, why the hell, why aren't I a billionaire? Because, man, I have failed more times in my life than I choose to count. Anyway, we've got 20 minutes on the clock, so we're going to jump into another 20-minute sprint. When we get back, I have no idea what I'm going to rant on. I have absolutely no clue. So we're going to wing it off the top of our heads because, I got a little flaggy flag, evidently, from YouTube about discussing some of these topics that I just talked about, which I got off of YouTube channels. Anyway, so we'll be back in 20 minutes. See you all then. And in 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute. All right, that's the end of that sprint. So what did we all get done? Were you able to get any work done? It's getting a little late in the day and it's Wednesday. So then I know there's a lot of people who are like, I'm done with this week already. I am one of them. Anyway, I was able to get all of the voiceovers done for episode 3. I'm going to be cutting, doing the clipping on and off version here in a minute, of the ends, the beginnings and the ends. As soon as that's what I'm going to be working on when we finish the sprint or at the end. But I'm very proud of myself. I got all the voiceovers done in 2 hours. It only took an hour and a half to do 15 minutes of voiceovers. We're all good. So I thought since there's a lot of changes that are going to be coming up and there's a lot of things that are happening in the background. So I figured that since I did my little rant and YouTube has already yelled at me about covering controversial topics, that I would switch into more of an announcement mode. So for any of you that are new or current followers, we're going to go over a couple things that we've got, just fun announcements that are happening with the channel. So Cora's coming in with the toddler is down. It took her, I bet it took the whole 20 minutes to get that toddler down, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Also messaged and commented on people's posts. Very nice. Yay. Gotta keep up with those social media stuff when, the algorithm likes you to engage with your peeps. So good job. Also, so on that note, a couple things coming up. So starting in August, I just want everybody to know, I already announced that I'm going to be pulling back from the AuthorTube community because of situations that happened. There's a lot of stuff going on in the works in the backgrounds in regards to other channels and me doing production work and possibly picking up schooling. So starting August 1st, I'm only going to be doing Friday night streams, and they're going to be psychic reading streams. This channel is going to be completely shifting into the psychic Wiccan side of things, simply because that's where we're going right now. Inevitably, this channel will continue down the psychic tarot card reading channel. In the future, I'm going to be launching another channel for completion of my book. I actually have been talking to somebody who is looking at being the type of editor that I need, because I know that I am a different type of person and I need a different type of editor. I also have discussion in the background of possibly doing picking up more of a production type stuff in regards to other people. There's just a lot of discussions going on in the background that I need to make myself available for. Then we have the second channel, Cora and Kibby, that all the links and everything are down below. And I'm going to be focusing a lot more on the reaction side of things on that channel with Cora. And so I want to opening just more time to be able to record, edit, and everything else for that channel and everything. Because here's the truth. If I'm going to get just as many views on those videos as I do on these live streams, we're shifting focus. The views, the live streams that get the most views on this channel are my tarot card readings. So that's why we're shifting that here. A lot of the reaction and the Gabby stuff works on the other channel. So that's why we're shifting it over there. And if I inevitably do work with the editor to launch my book, we're going to be doing a whole separate channel for that. On this channel, I do have the continued rants minus sprints that's going to be posting every Tuesday and Thursday. So that will still be happening with, catch up and everything else until I catch up to current rants, and then it'll be just posting either Tuesdays or Thursdays. On the other channel, we have so many reaction videos coming, from Wicked to Freaky Friday to Lilo and Stitch to there's so many that are coming. I have craft projects in the works with videos. I have the voiceovers with the Dance Mom stuff that I want to put more dedication and work on. So just know that we're going to live stream through the end of July, but starting August 1st, this channel is going to be just tarot readings on Friday live streams, and separate videos with the Psycho to Psychic series, and then the WitchCasket unboxings. They're like, this is basically going to become more of a psychic and witchy channel. And yeah, look forward to that. And then we're going to have the reaction channel with Cora and me, and with a bunch of stuff going off on that. And then, yeah, then we might inevitably have a third channel with the writing and production of things. And then going from there, there might be even more stuff depending on what conversations happen in the background. So I'm excited simply because even though I can't find a job here in Spokane, I'm staying busy. I'm advancing my skills, and inevitably I might end up with so many projects that schooling might not stress me out. It might actually be something I look forward to because I have so much that I want to do. That's actually kind of what I'm hoping for, is to pile on enough projects that I encourage myself to go back to school, instead of having, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning in cold sweat and panic attacks at 43 years old over having to face being graded again. Because yeah, PTSD from school is real, surprisingly. Anyway, for any of you that are in the AuthorTube community that have been here from the beginning, thank you so much for being with me. I completely understand if you end up unsubscribing and not following anymore. Times have changed, and I'm not one to go into the drama of what's been going on in the background. But basically, like I said before, when a community, I'm a Scorpio. I don't like confrontation. If I'm not welcome somewhere, I'm going to just silently step away. And that's kind of pretty much what I'm doing. And I have a lot of other, life is pointing me in other directions. And I tried to appease the AuthorTube gods and keep my channel in honor of, the writing sprints and everything else. But I have let's just say that people in the AuthorTube community have proven to me that I'm not so welcome here anymore. So to negate being called a loser and a lowlife and many other names that I do not believe apply to me, I am just going to start shifting into the stuff that I actually want to do. So you can look forward on this channel to a lot of fun psychic stuff, Friday nights tarot card readings, and my Psycho to Psychic series on Cora and Kibby's on the Cora and Kibby Reacts channel. You can look forward to reactions of me reacting to people's channels, to some of my old videos, to some of Cora's videos. There's going to be solo reacts where it's just me reacting. There's going to be solo reactings where Cora's just reacting to things. And then there's going to be reactions where we're together. There's also going to be my Dance Moms picture project that's going to be on that channel. Then, yeah, and we're going to go from there. So just know that the next couple weeks, July is very much going to be a wing it type writing sprints things, because my focus is not going to be so much on making sure that I'm set up for writing sprints as much as it is making sure that I'm set up to have my projects that I'm working on done. Just slowly to dwindle it out, I wanted to finish the last month. I was thinking of maybe just null and voiding it completely and just shifting at the beginning of July. But I've made so many changes on this channel in the last 6 months, and there's some people that are already irritated with me with how many changes I've made, even though it's my channel. But I understand my clients, there's some older people that don't necessarily like change all that much. And they already got that, the fact that they're already watching me on YouTube, it was a lot to ask. And now I keep changing things. So I thought I would give them a little bit of leeway and say, hey, look, I love you guys, and I'm not just going to shift it on you again. I'm going to make sure that I announce that in a month, we're going to be shifting things. So just know, if you are into the tarot card and the psychic stuff and the witchy stuff, like and subscribe to this channel. If you like my conversations and my rants and my reactions, subscribe to the Cora and Kibby reaction channel. The link's below. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and we'll wrap up the streams, simply because A, the last 2 streams were so long, and B, I got a ton of work I got to get done in the background. And yeah, so if you want to, please raise your glass, and we'll do our end of stream cheers. Also, remember to like and subscribe, hit that little thumbs up button, comment if you can. It makes the algorithm gods happy. YouTube is, as I said before, YouTube is starting to cancel down small creators. So the more we can, the more you likey, the more you thumbies, upsy, and the more you commenty, the more happy YouTube is. So Also, message and comment. Oh, that we already covered that. Why did I think that was new? I don't know, because my computer's being weird. Anyway, raise your glass and may your angels be strong. May your energies be positive. May your angels be strong, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.